podcast that covers New Japan Pro Wrestling live from Wiesbaden, Germany. It's going to take me a while to figure that out or to remember how to pronunciate so well here on the podcast. Welcome to Chris's Chaos. I'm your host, Chris Cortez, and it's been a minute. It's been a minute because, as you may or may not have known, my wife and I have been planning a certain trip, a certain transition into and from the United States to Europe. Talking about traveling to Wiesbaden, Germany. Yes, I'm looking outside. Look out this way, and I can see the city in all its splendor. Actually, there's just a building being built right next to me, and see a lot of trash bags. Other than that, it's a very pretty view. The weather's about 77 degrees. It's much better than DMV, which I am hearing later today will be in the swampy 90s. So, yeah, it's been a couple months, but wanted to make sure the transition was not feeling podcast worthy until I was quite, in the zone, in the mind frame where I could do this. But I brought a laptop, I brought my mic, my headset, my camera, so that I could do some podcasts here from the hotel until we find our permanent location here in Wiesbaden, Germany. And we've been here for about a week, drinking a lot of Hefeweizen, been watching a lot of the Euro Cup. As you probably know, that's going on. It's pretty big in these parts. And had to get myself a little bit of New Japan in. So tonight we are covering Dominion live from the Osaka-Jo Arena. This one's kind of special to me. It's special to my heart. It took place on June 9th, 2024. Now I know it's June 20th. It's about 11 days ago, but I had to cover this particular pay-per-view or this premium live event, whatever you want to call it, because this was the one that was kind of my anniversary pay-per-view. Let me elaborate here. It's been a year since I've been starting, since my first podcast, getting close to about 60 videos. I know it's not a lot for like a, professional podcaster, but for my first year, I'd say it wasn't that bad. I got a lot of subs, counting. I got a lot of good likes and videos, which, by the way, brings me to my next comment. Please hit that like or subscribe button. Okay, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to @ChannelCortez33. I've had a lot of fun with my good friend and co-host on Shoots and Swerves, Jonathan, as we covered a lot of AEW content. But when I first started this podcast, the first real event or group of events was the Super Junior, the Best of the Super Junior tournament. Okay, it's a round robin tournament, and it kind of ends with the two best of each block going head to head in a finals round, and that took place here in the Osaka-Jo Arena at Dominion 2024. So I was not able to cover all of Super Junior, which I wanted to, but it was a lot. And as you know, they show matches, match card every day, maybe like with a couple days here and there break. But for the most part, it's just back to back to back. So you really have to be into it. And I, given the certain circumstances, was not going to be able to cover the Best of the Super Junior as I wanted to. And so I figured, okay, just make sure to get that finals in. Watch that finals, and it was a good finals. I mean, I had a feeling the winner would be El Desperado, but I was still rooting for Taiji Ishimori as my boy. He got injured last year, as you know. He was so most likely going to win that thing as far as I'm concerned. But still, he has not he was unable to defeat El Desperado. I mean, it was kind of clear knowing that we have a signature event coming up that's like dedicated to El Despe. So kind of figured he would win. And of course, last year, Master Wato, he won the Best of the Super Junior last year. That was pretty cool. I wasn't expecting him to win, but Despe kind of could give it to him. But it wasn't just about this match. It was the Dominion pay-per-view to me is kind of like a precursor. It's kind of like the hit into the G1 climax. And pardon me if you can hear my dishwasher going off like 2 feet away from me. It's maybe like 8 feet away. Either way, it's not that far. Or is that? No, sorry, that's the washer and dryer. Get this, the washer and the dryer are like one and the same. The washer washes and then the dryer dries in the same thing. You just have to hit the mode button and there it goes. It's ridiculous. So, yes. But on another note, yes. So it was about other matches that took place that really gets you going, thinking about, okay, G1 Climax. That's really where we're leading towards. We're getting close to G1 Climax. It's pretty much the second half of the summer, and that's really your card up leading up to Wrestle Kingdom. Whoever wins G1, they gave us some news about that. It's going to be 2 blocks instead of 4. I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe I'll like it. It gives the 2 winners of the block buys in the the finals tournament, the actual elimination tournament. So I'm okay with it. I'm curious to see how it's going to play. I loved last year's G1. G1 was excellent. But we had that. Plus we got to. I swear I was kind of like zoned out of New Japan, especially after hearing about Moxley winning the title against Tetsuya Naito, which I love Jon Moxley, but I just was kind of hoping that Naito would have a long-standing kind of run with that title after all this time, leading up to his win at Tokyo Dome. But it's cool. It's been good. Mox is great. I don't care what anybody says. And I thought the match with Evil for the heavyweight championship was a fun match. Evil, I'm telling you, if you don't like Evil, you don't. I don't know what to tell you, man. Maybe you take this stuff too seriously, because Evil's awesome. All right, the way he cheats, how entertaining he is, and makes you hope to God he doesn't win. I really do hope one day he wins the title. I don't care what anybody says. I want to see him win that title and just we'll have the darkest days of New Japan Pro Wrestling. So, but yeah, there were quite a few good matches here. Thinking right off the bat, Shingo Takagi versus Sonare. It was a little bit loose at first, if that's the right word. A little shaky. Some of the moves just didn't quite sit well with me. We'll talk about that. But the Tornado Tag Team Championship match for both the IWGP and the Strong Openweight titles, that was surprisingly well. I was not expecting that to be so good. I wasn't really that invested, but the more I watched it, the more I was like, all right, here we go. This is going to be a pretty cool match, and kind of gives me just some insight as to where they're going with the tag division. But let's start with the first match, okay? Callum Newman versus Tetsuya Naito. Naito is essentially now at the bottom of the back of the line because he lost that title. Well, at least that's the story we're getting. He lost his first match outside of after his loss to Jon Moxley to Driller Maloney. Of course, that was due to a distraction. So now he has to face Callum Newman, the Prince of Pace. I was expecting Naito to win. Sure enough, he did, but stranger things have happened. Newman's great. Newman knows how to move like no other. He really is the Prince of Pace. I expect big things from him in the future. So right off the bat, even before Naito could get in the ring, Newman attacks Naito, falls with a moonsault onto the floor. Naito tosses Newman to the barricade, but Newman strikes back with a dropkick. The bell, then they're back in the ring. The bell rings, and Naito and Newman are fighting in the ring. Naito still has his suit on. You don't see this very often. Naito usually has that time to take off his suit, take his time, his sweet time in the corner. But But he gave him some space before he can quickly get his suit off. He attacks Newman, gets that space. He quickly takes that suit off. He uses his pants to choke Newman. That's what you get for not, letting Naito take off his suit on his own time. The referee relieves Naito of his pants. Yes. Back in the ring, arm drag, drop kick, Naito in control. Pin attempt, only 2 count. Naito into the scissors, but it's a focus on the shoulder and the side neck area with that maneuver. He's trying to set him up for Destino, work the neck, work the shoulder. Newman strikes back, though, 1 to the gut, then 1 to the face. Naito responds with that cravat. However, Newman gets the space to run the ropes. Hit that running boot to Naito. He's fast as anyone else can run the ropes. Henceforth, the Prince of Pace. Naito responds, let's see. He's in control, but and a pin attempt by Newman after a few more kicks. After lifted up, Naito backs Newman into the corner, inverted atomic drop. Just nothing fancy, just all tradition. Naito hits that Frankensteiner off the corner. Newman reverses with a Spanish fly and a pin attempt after a suplex. Naito dodges the Oz Cutter and hits a series of there's just a series of reverses between the two before running Destino. You get a near fall. Newman is just fading. Perhaps I'm thinking he's playing possum, and sure enough, he is. He tries to hit the elbows. Naito retaliates, but then Newman with a breath of life strikes, but just not enough. Naito hits Destino for the 1-2-3. This was just clear cut, textbook Destino, textbook Naito victory. But take nothing away from Newman. This was a good first match victory for Naito coming off. And we'll talk more about Tetsuya Naito towards the very end of this card. Second match, Zack Sabre Jr., Robbie Eagles, and Kosei Fujita versus Clark Connors, Jerome Maloney, and LJ Cleary. Okay, Cleary, you don't know, most of us probably don't know much about him. He's from Wrestling Noah. He's part of this group, the handsome gentleman or whatnot. Ridiculous, but he can go. I appreciate what LJ Cleary was trying to do in the ring. He's only 25 years old, from Dublin, Ireland. Working with the War Dogs, it's kind of an uncommon alliance. They do not strike me as the types that would, work together, but it worked out okay. Fujita with a hard and loud chops to Connors. They start this off. It does Fujita and Connors. Fujita with another just sounding chop. When this guy hits the chop, he hits hard. But Connors fires back. Fujita with a roll up and a tag to Eagles, who hits the springboard. Then TMDK is in control of the series of tags and attacks. At one point, all three are just stretching out. Connors just looks ridiculous, but it is funny. Makes me smirk a little bit. It was quite entertaining. Connors in control, however, in the ring with Eagles. Maloney with the assist to distract Eagles. LJ Cleary in the ring and in control. He takes the cheap shot at Sabre. Cleary, he can go. He does a nice little double stomp to the back of Eagles. All moving with precision and grace. So Eagles in the ring with Maloney. Eagles shopping Maloney, who takes the strikes with no effect. Okay, he's getting upset. Maloney in clear-cut control at this point. Eagles attempts to get some roll-ups and security by Eagles to get the needed space. Fujita and Eagles tagged in. Nice little springboard missile drop kick by Fujita. Connors with the Northern Lights minus the bridge. He just tosses him. Okay, tags in LJ Cleary. Sabre tagged in and uppercuts the hell out of Cleary. Then hits that snap with his feet. It looks great every time I see it. Arm drag turned into a cross arm breaker by Sabre. War Dogs run in to stop all that. We missed something that Fujita did outside the ring. The cameras, they don't show it, but clearly the crowd was excited about it, so we never got to see a replay. LJ Cleary and Zack Sabre in the ring. Series of roll-ups, kicks by Cleary, but Zack catches the one off that springboard and turns it into an ankle lock. Somehow turns it into a German suplex. You get a Zack driver. Very nonchalant 1-2-3. He just pins him with his knees on top of his chest. So it was pretty sweet. Zack Sabre Jr. and the Mighty Do Not Kneel win this match. The Mighty Don't Kneel. Love it. Want some more of it. Can't complain. I know Zack, I miss him with the TV title. Right now it belongs to is it Shingo? No, that's never open weight. Man, I'm like losing control. We'll get to the TV title shortly, but I miss him without that TV title. Let's get into it. Speaking of a titles match, we got the King KOPW Strong title. And you got Yuya Uemura versus Great Kong. Long way has Yuya come since joining the Just Five Guys. He's looking good. I think he lost some hair. He cut his hair a little bit. Looks a little bit sharper now. So I was definitely into it. But let's talk about this match. It was it was pretty cool. Let's get into this. This is, yes, how can I forget, the Storm Catch rules for the KOPW title. Basically what this means is that it's Ring of Honor pure rules, which means no open strikes, no fist, no punching, nothing like that, just only grapples, only submissions. You only get 2 rope breaks. And in fact, if you try to go for a third, that's basically you tapping out. So you're not even allowed to touch the ropes after 2 rope breaks. And you're not allowed to go over the top rope. That counts as the rope break. So, and that plays into effect in this match. It was cool. For what it was, I really liked it. I think Great Khan is looking better than ever. This guy is looking sharp, okay? This is exactly the way we need to see him from now on. Rules really fit his kind of persona, especially for the way he came out. He comes out, he's rocking these shorts with the sponsors. He's bouncing around like Brock Lesnar, okay? It's the only way to compare. The bell sounds, and Yuya is immediately in control. He has an arm bar. Khan gets, first, he quickly gets to the rope for a rope break. Khan bites the arm of Yuya, though. He's going to use these bites a lot, like great, like the Amazon from pro wrestling. He reminds me of King Corn Khan, but he bites like the Amazon from old school NES pro wrestling game, if you know what I'm talking about. Khan bites the arm. Yuya remains in control, but not after flipping Khan, who uses his momentum to almost pin Yuya. And Yuya uses his first rope break by putting his foot on the ropes to avoid a kind of pin, or, I mean, it was definitely some sort of choke, but he was able to break whatever Khan was trying to do. Khan's still in control. Yuya breaks free of Khan's hold. Yuya goes back to the work on the arm of Khan. He slams Great-O-Khan near fall. Another slam attempt by Yuya, but then bites the head to gain some space. I've seen a lot of biting from both sides. Khan grabs the arm, but Yuya fights off Khan, this time with bites of his own. They lock up, take down by Khan, crucifix roll up by Yuya. Yuya lifts Khan off the ground and over the top ropes, which forces Khan to have to use his second rope break. So went over the top rope. He waited till about the 18th second, jumps back into the ring. Yuya right back to the arm. Arm drag by Khan, variation of Uranagi by Great-O-Khan, near fall, eliminator reversed to a cross arm breaker by Yuya. Khan reaches for the ropes, almost to get himself eliminated. Almost. It looked like he was going to do it. He bridges out of Yuya's hole, somehow breaks free. Deadbolt slam by Great-O-Khan. Yuya back to the arm. TFO by Great-O-Khan, and then Super Eliminator by the Great-O-Khan for the 1-2-3. Great-O-Khan wins the KOPW Championship. Looks good around his waist. Very happy to see some gold around Great-O-Khan, and he's got the look that he needs. It's like he's going from like more of that, more of like a shooter type, obviously UFC kind of look, but still holds on to his, Great-O-Khan image. I like it. I love it. So I'm all for it. We get a little reminder that this is after, fourth match, never open weight, 6-man tag team championship. We got Hiroshi Tanahashi, Toru Yano, and Boltin Oleg, who looks great, by the way, versus Yota Tsuji, Hiromu Takahashi, and Bushi. We get a reminder that this year, this was the pay-per-view that, Tsuji had faced Sonata for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, and I remember it very clearly. I mean, this was a big hype for Tsuji. Tsuji still has a lot of love from the fans, but he was white hot in the New Japan world, was Yota Tsuji. And tonight, at this moment, he's looking for gold, 6-man tag gold. So he starts this off with his former, kind of like, his mentor, if you will, because locks up with none other than Hiroshi Tanahashi, who apparently, when Tsuji jumped into this business, it was Tanahashi who had told him, to join, to come to wrestling. You should be doing wrestling, because Tsuji came in for a signing, wanted to meet Tanahashi. Tanahashi's like, clearly this guy was at the time playing college football. He's got the look, and that's, 95% of the business. So if you look like that, they're going to try to bring you in as soon as possible. And sure enough, he became assistant to Tanahashi, a young line assistant. So they talked about that to the commentators, and they locked this up. Yano tagged in and gets double teamed by Takahashi and Bushi. Bushi remains in the ring, works Yano's arm, tags in Yota and Takahashi. Tagged for more double team attacks on Yano. Clothesline and dropkick by Takahashi. Yota tagged in, lifts and drops Takahashi on Yano. Not seen as much, playfulness from Yano as we used to in the, previous years. Yano hits the atomic drop on Taka, a tag to Boltin, lifts the tagged in Yota into a slam. Then that spinning gut wrench, it's just amazing. He's spinning him. He's like turning him back and forth with the gut wrench. We're talking about a Yota Tsuji. This guy's like 6 foot, got to be like 6'5", 6'6" at least. What am I talking? Yeah, he's got to be like 250, 260 pound guy. I mean, he's huge, and he's just lifting him up and jacking him out like it's nothing. Yota gets the space, though, to hit his curb stomp. At one point, we do see a double suplex. Before that, Oleg, he suplexes the rest of LIJ. He hits, Bushi and Takahashi with a double suplex. I don't know which one was more impressive, because Both are pretty great. But we do get that curb stomp from Yoda to shut things down on Oleg. Falcon Arrow by Yoda, near fall, more strikes and an impressive drop kick to Yoda. Tag to Tanahashi, and you get the crossbody to all of LIJ. Strikes to Yoda, hits the middle rope, senton on Yoda. Knee from Tsuji catches Tanahashi, followed by a few more strikes, sends Tanahashi down. We get a 3-point stance for the spear, but Yano holds the leg, gives more time to Tanahashi to hit that sling blade. However, Tanahashi misses the splash, and Yoda hits that spear for the 1-2-3. LIJ now 6-man tag team championships. Got some gold, more gold for the Ungovernables. I love it. And one thing I noticed was that Oleg was just he was very much not trying to leave the ring. He was like, this isn't the end of our little exchange. This isn't the end for us. I want that gold back. He was the only one really. Then of course he went back to Tanahashi, help out Tanahashi and Yano, but he looked like a beast in this match. I got to give him credit where credit's due. Everyone looked pretty good, but Bolton I think was the star as well as Tsuji. For the next match, we get word from the commentators that there's a big announcement. They use like certain words, like they're like, you know what I'm saying, dude? You know what I'm saying, brother? And I'm like, dude, are you talking about like a Hulk Hogan, arrival? Which, to be honest with you, I wouldn't really freak out about. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people would be like, no, can't do that, dude. I'd be okay with it, as long as he's not wrestling, But it's clearly something else, completely opposite of what they seem to be hinting at. I don't know where that came from. But we get that 5th match, TV title match, okay? We're talking about Jeff Cobb, baby. He is your new TV champion. And honestly, he's great. He's so good as the TV champ. Still kind of miss, Zack Saber's title reign. But now Jeff Cobb is a perfect candidate, perfect guy to be holding that title. Versus Tomohiro Ishii, the Stone Pitbull. This is everything you expect it to be, and then some. Just hard-hitting match. You're going to get a hard-hitting, nonstop. They will not, relent. And who's to say who you can't tell who's going to win between these two type of guys. But the bell sounds. They bash into each other, and Cobb wins the exchange. Shoulder tackle. He hits a crossbody splash, then proceeds to surf on the back of Ishii. That's right, I said he's standing on the back of Ishii and doing his little surf. It's so great. Ishii gets the next shoulder tackle delivery, then attempts the suplex, but Cobb fights off, then hits Ishii with another shoulder tackle. Ishii lifted up, then chops the hell out of Cobb. Chops the hell out of Cobb, and let's see. Running back elbow by Cobb takes Ishii right out in the corner. However, after Ishii is lifted up, he hits an impressive vertical suplex on Cobb. Ishii runs the ropes, and Cobb hits the German suplex. They make their way to a corner and takes Cobb the opportunity to hit a suplex off the second rope. Ishii back up. Ishii hits the back suplex. Cobb catches Ishii with the belly-to-belly and a lariat. Very near fall on Ishii. Forearms by Ishii, but a headbutt by Cobb, followed by a standing moonsault and near fall. Cobb sends Ishii to the ropes, who fires back with strikes, then an enziguri and another lariat. Pin attempt by Ishii, but Cobb up after one. Just after one, mind you. He was he's got way more in the tank left. Cobb goes for a suplex block, but a headbutt. And a headbutt by Ishii, responded by a drop kick from Cobb. You get the F5 from Cobb, only a near fall. Spin cycle by Cobb after a thrust kick. You think you're going to see the tour of the islands, but it's cut off by Ishii's headbutt. And a Frankensteiner looked great. Pretty sick coming from Stone Pitbull. And a lariat again by Ishii. At this point, this match has pretty much gone into 4th or 5th gear, but it's done what it's needed to do. We get a suplex blocked by Jeff Cobb. He goes into the Tour of the Islands for the 1-2-3. He retains his title after his second title defense. Let's see if he gets past Zack Saber's, 13th match, I think it was, when he lost to Tanahashi at Wrestle Kingdom? We shall see. I'm going to take a little drink break. Got my Hello One mineral water. Yes. It's hella good. It's pretty good. Not bad. All for it. Yes. But yes, we get some news about G1 Climax. So before we do that, guys, if you haven't already done so, please hit that like or subscribe button at ChannelCortez33. You can also catch me on Instagram and Twitch. Make sure to hit me up. Yeah. Give me some comments in the feed below. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you want me to cover. Because I only have so much time. So, gotta make it good. But after that match, we do get some news about the G134 and pretty much how it's going to be 2 blocks this year instead of 4. And they kind of set you up for like what's coming up until Wrestle Kingdom 19, which will take place on January 4th. They usually do take place on sometime. For some reason, it always lands on like the 4th, maybe the 3rd. Never on the 1st. Maybe once have I ever seen it on the 1st. But anyways, looking forward to that. So we're already kind of in gear. We're already thinking about, their annual, like kind of like their most prestigious pay-per-view, like their premier card. So I like that. So we get the 6th match, and this match was cool. This is something I was not looking forward to be quite honest with you. I'm not a fan of big tornado match. I'm not big fans of like just shit show, like clusterfuck matches. Part of my French, but you get a tornado tag team match that throws elimination into the mix. That makes things a little more easier because as you progress, the teams start to dwindle down to you just get 2, and they get to kind of focus in on what's going on. I thought this was a pretty cool match. All good workers. That probably plays a role in it. You got Mikey Nichols and Shane Haste of TMDK versus Bishamon and Yoshihashi and Goto Hiroki. You got Hikuleo and ELP versus Chase Owens and Kenta. Okay, all good workers here. Hikuleo might be like the greenest of the entire bunch, but even he's progressing nicely. My first and foremost question about Hikuleo, which I think a lot of people are wondering, is when the hell is he going to show up in WWE alongside his brothers Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa? I mean, it's for me. I know a lot of people probably commenting on things like, "Oh, New Japan's dead." I mean, they lost Ospreay. They've lost Okada. They've lost Tama Tonga. Now Tonga Loa. Really, there's still so much talent in New Japan. I mean, if it only left. If anything, was a good thing to give more of the young blood some time to do their thing. There's so much talent in New Japan you don't even know. Yes, some of the stables, like I would say, obviously Ospreay and Okada, and even Tama Tonga. I thought Tama Tonga was like just about ready to be like on that next page, to be on that next step towards being like world heavyweight champion. He's so good. He's got such a good look. He can move in the ring like no other. He was great, but he's doing his work in with his peeps in WWE. So what I'm wondering is when the hell is Hikuleo going to join? Because he's primed and ready. He's just about ready. And after this match, I'm being more and more curious as to if and when that happens. I'm more thinking it's an when rather than an if. Let's talk about this match. The bell rings. There's a brawl outside and inside. No surprise there. In the ring, ELP and Hikuleo, though, they're in control until Bishamon. They come in. Bullet Club isolates ELP, though. They hit a powerbomb, elbow drop, pin attempt. Hikuleo in the ring with Nichols. He drops a big elbow, then big chop to Shane Haste. ELP with a swanton into the moonsault, gets on the ropes and moonsaults to the outside. Gets all his nice spots in right at this moment. TMTK, though, hit their double team finisher on Hikuleo. Okay? So they hit that tank buster, right? And GOD, Guerrillas of Destiny, they're eliminated right off the bat. Just like that. They pinned Hikuleo. Hikuleo, I swear I think he's on his way to WWE after that. They lose their strong titles, tag titles. They are now somebody else is going to be the new tag titles. We don't know. And on the way out, Hikuleo and ELP are kind of fighting. You could tell Hikuleo was a little annoyed that ELP wasn't able to make the save. And you got Jado trying to keep the two away, apart. We get roll-ups by Bullet Club to TMDK. They go to work on TMDK in the corners, and meanwhile, thrust kick by Owens into a DDT by Kenta who's on Mikey Nichols for a near fall. Bullet Club again working really well against TMDK. They put a beat down on the back of Goto after he runs in to the corner. People are cheering too, mind you. To the corner, Goto ducks and lariats Kenta, but Owen back on Goto. Package pile driver reversed to a back body drop. Double clotheslines. Enziguri by Owens. C-trigger blocked.
Okay. Kick by Hashi and a double team offense by Bishamon lands Kenta right onto Owens. Shogun on Owens for the 1-2-3. So Bull Cub's out too. The IWGP Tag Team Champions have been eliminated. So we're going to get two titles are going to a brand new team. We're going to get new champions for both titles. So, and TMDK and Bishamon, they're in the ring. They're ready to go. I think works out great. The crowd's into it. Goto and Hayes in the ring. Goto hits the back kick. Do a back suplex near fall. Big clothesline from Hashi to Hayes in the corner. Goto goes up, leaving Hashi open to a double team. A crazy powerbomb from TMDK off the top. Hashi makes the save, though. A lot of offense blocked until Bishamon hits that northern lariat. Hayes saves Nichols. Big headbutt from Goto to Hayes. Nice drop kick by Hayes. Double powerbomb to Goto. Saved by Hashi, who battles out of TMDK's tank buster. Eventually, they hit it. Hashi kicks out of a pin attempt after the tank buster. What do? They hit the super tank buster to Hashi for the 1-2-3. And they are now both your Strong and IWGP Tag Team Championships. So, looking good. Looking good as TMDK. They give little dabs to an unconscious Hashi. It's pretty funny. Meanwhile, Goto's just pissed. It was good times. I liked it. Looking forward to seeing more from TMDK. And we got about 3 more matches. 7th match for the Never Openweight Championship. We're talking about Shingo Takagi versus Hinari. Man, I mean, if you thought the Cobb versus Ishii was going to be a hard-hitting match, this one was it was going to be exactly the same, maybe worse. And as I had said earlier, there were a couple of loose, kind of like a few messy moments. We'll talk about that. So they're in the ring. Bell rings, 2 lock up. They make their way into the corner for not a clean break. Big chop by Shingo. Hinari absorbs the strikes, though. They exchange some more strikes. You knew this was going to be hard-hitting. You know it's going to be just a slugfest, kind of give me the best you got. I don't care. They collide, no budge. Again, lariat by Shingo to Hinari in the corner. Stuns Hinari, punches him until Hinari just back up and is like, give me more, give me more. No selling like crazy, but it's still fun to watch. I still like it. I appreciate it. These guys look like they could take hits like that and kicks, and then they exchange the headbutts. This is where things get a little bit messy. Those headbutts look pretty bad by Hinari. I know they're not trying to hurt each other, and thank God they're not, but you could just tell that these were just kind of, I had to take a little more hella, but it was bad. The whole time I'm thinking, though, I was like, how is this going to end? Because how is one going to, budge to the other, waver to the other when they both come off as looking like Superman? Sure enough, that plays a role in the end. We get a big running kick by Hinari. The headbutts. We get power bombs by Shingo. Looks good. Then another kick from Hinari. Big rampage tackle by Hinari. Big chop from Shingo. Big kick from Hinari. More exchanges between the two until Hinari drops to a knee. Backs up. Back up. It keeps going. Now Shingo using the lariat. Hinari back elbow into a kick off the middle rope, but a lariat from Shingo sends Hinari down on the mat. After a long series of exchanges, Hinari hits the Streets of Rage slam. Hinari slow to go for the impact shot. Cannot get him up. Does hit the knee to the face of Shingo, but Shingo catches Hinari. He hits the last of the dragon. He can't make the cover. Both are down. Back up. And they can barely strike each other. Hinari getting more pissed after the Shingo shots. Shingo unleashes a fury, but Hinari hits the shots to the stomach. That one looked good. Big forearm by Shingo. Headbutts exchange. These look much better, mind you. Lariat by Shingo, but hammerhead, big hammerhead by Hinari. Man, that one looked the best headbutt. So it went from like the most, obviously, just weak looking headbutts to some of the best headbutts we've seen in a match. But then they're both knocked out due to that hammerhead, and after a double countout, it's a draw. So there you go. Hinari's up first, and he is pissed. He's like enraged, because he probably thought he was going to win, and it did look like he was going to get the victory at this point. But clearly there will be a rematch between these two. I think we're just getting started, and I think we'll have even a better match the next time they lock arms. Should be good. But yeah, that kind of makes sense, because it didn't look like neither of these two were going to go down. So we'll have to see it in the next match. 8th match for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Jon Moxley versus your boy, Evil. lumberjack death match. Had to be a death match, too. It's a lumberjack match, okay? I guess there was a little bit of a violence, a little bit of brutality, a little bit of a savagery that would make you think it's a death match. But other than that, it's just a New Japan lumberjack match. So at this point, Evil claims not only to be the champion, but the president of New Japan. Yes, I said it. He is now the president of New Japan. He walks up to the actual official president, who's in the crowds in the front row. He grabs him. He's taunting him. He's being giving him guff. Spray paints him with some black spray paint. Gotta love it. The commentators are losing their shit. I love it. It's your boy. He spray paints the president, like I said. And Mox arrives, and they just brawl on the floor into the ring. Bell sounds. Mox is in control during the same type of strikes that we've come to expect from all of the Blackpool Combat Club. Mox works the arm of Evil, who wrenches the eyes and sends him out to the House of Torture members, who just get started on stomping on Mox. Of course, you've got the guys who are with Mox trying to help him out. Guys like Shota Umino, Tengen, if I pronounce it right. I'm sorry. If I don't pronounce it right, I'm sorry. Mox fights them all off, though, and Evil. And the crowd is into this. They're liking it. They think he's a superhero. He wrenches the nose of Evil after positioning him onto a chair, then hits Evil with a big boot. Back in the ring, Evil manages to get some space, strikes Mox out of the ring. House of Torture throws Mox back in the ring, and what does Evil do? He throws him back out, okay, so that the House of Torture could put more of a hurting on Moxley. At this point, Evil puts on a shirt that it's in Japanese. Probably says something like along the lines of, I'm the president, basically, because that's what the commentators were, pretty much hinting at, suggesting that it was. It has a little cut. Not little cut, but a pretty big cut. Why? So he could just rip it off like Hulk Hogan and then use it to choke Moxley. Great stuff, okay? Meanwhile, the guys who are supporting Mox are freaking out, trying to tell the ref to stop what's going on. But the ref's too busy trying to deal with them, so it's not helping. Mox takes out the table. Oh, sorry. This is what happens here. Evil with the chops to the corner. You got House of Torture. Eventually, Mox is thrown out in the ring. This is one of my favorite spots. All of the House of Torture members, as soon as he gets thrown out in the ring. All like 5 members of the HOT outside of the ring have belts taken off, and they're just whipping him with the belt. It's fantastic. Hilarious, okay? It's got to be like Mox's idea. Mox, though, he gets away at some point. We get, though, before that, we get an inverted figure 4 by Evil. Mox does make it to the ropes. And we get these types of strikes, exchanges. It gets a little ridiculous until finally Mox does hit a pretty sweet pile driver. He hits the tope suicida on everybody of the House of Torture. Mox has the belt. He gets one of the belts, obviously, becomes free. He proceeds to whip up on Evil for a little revenge. Goes around the side of the ring, takes out a table. Dick Togo with the sand to the eyes. Wasn't expecting that. Looked good. And Evil with the chairs. He wraps one chair around Mox and he swings it and hits that chair so that spins around. I mean, I don't think it does any kind of damage to Mox, but it looks so good. And also, looks pretty damn dangerous. You got to have some trust in Evil, okay, does Mox to let him do something like that. Because I think one false move could have really seriously injured Moxley. So back in the ring, you get another suplex by Evil. The Anaconda Vice. Apparently, it's right in front of Tenden, just to piss him off because that's his signature move. Not that everybody else hasn't used it, but clearly, obviously, this was geared towards him. Moxley reverses into the Bulldog Choke for a little. He doesn't really get it all in, but it looked like he was appearing to make that attempt. Evil hits Darkness Falls on Moxley after the referee, Marty Asami, inadvertently hits Mox, after he was trying to hit Evil. And for grabbing up on him. And it looked like Mox was going to attack Marty Asami. It was, we know Mox has a wild side. You can't, he may be the face, but you can't piss him off too much. He'll get on you. Near fall. Everything is Evil blocked, cross-face locked on Evil. After a few lariats, House of Torture able to break the hold. Shota Umino going to town on the House of Torture. Looking good, too. Shota's looking great. Cut his hair. He looks sharp. Mox hits Death Rider hit by Narita. Death Rider from Evil On that one by Narita, I think was the little bar that he's had since like Wrestle Kingdom times. Near fall, Evil goes for Everything Is Evil. It gets countered into Mox's own rendition of Everything Is Evil. He tosses a few weapons, goes to the he looked like he wasn't seeing what he wanted to use, so he goes underneath the apron, breaks out the barbed wire bat. Fair enough. Okay. Evil hits Mox with a pen though. Stabs him right in the eye with a pen. Okay. Good stuff. I was hoping he was going to, maybe take out something else, like maybe hit him with the barbed wire, but he still gets hit with the barbed wire bat. Does Evil by Mox, okay, into the Death Rider. So it didn't really do much, but after we saw that Death Rider onto the bat with the barbed wire, we kind of knew it was going to be a 1-2-3 victory for Moxley. Pinfall victory. Still your champion, Jon Moxley. He's on the mic. He's like, thank you, Osaka-Jo Arena. He's saying people anytime. People like to say things like, face me anytime, anywhere. But I'm telling you, I'll face you any fucking time, any fucking way. He says the F word so many times because he knows he's on New Japan television. He can say it as much as he wants. Wants to get his moments, his content in with the F word, as does a lot of Americans when they come to New Japan. And he's like anyone who wants to show up. Let's see it. And the wait was quite long. I didn't know who was going to. It looked like nobody was going to show up. I was hoping to hear Ospreay's music just for the sake of hearing it. But perfect person walked out. Tetsuya Naito comes out. It's got, lifts up the eye. It's got the eye just like spinning around. Eye on Moxley. Gets on the mic, says, hey, if no one else is coming out, then how about me? Perfect line. It's my fault this belt was, this belt was a loss, that I lost the belt. So it's on me to take it back. Forbidden Door, Naito versus Mox. How about that? We'll see you later. All right. I'm loving it. Gonna be doing a review of Forbidden Door. That's for damn sure. I know it's coming up. It's got to be coming up soon. We got to be looking that up. That'll be one of the first things I look up after this review, because I'll be doing a review of Forbidden Door. And I think it tends to be an American crowd. Mox won this title in Japan, in Chicago. I'd like to see him lose it and give it back to Naito. I don't guarantee it, but I still think Naito's, this reign is not over. This might have been like a little bump in the road to kind of give New Japan a little more, eyes on them during the, with Mox being AEW. I just don't. I do not like it when promotions do these types of things where they think that it's going to. I hope it works, but it doesn't seem like it makes that much of a difference just because Mox is the champ. No one was more popular than Tetsuya Naito, but it will get more. It will work out quite well if we see these two face in the States, and this time Naito getting the victory in front of a much more larger audience too, and much more not just for the in the ring in the audience, but the people that buy that pay-per-view. Forbidden Door. I don't tend to buy the pay-per-views for New Japan because I'm already subscribed. But so I get a little ticked off. There's something about it that annoys me that they try to add on some more pay-per-view money. Maybe one of these days if the card is right. But yeah, I'd like to see this. We'd like to see, in a good card, big draw, Mox loses to Naito. I think that could very well happen. We'll see. Last match, 9th match, Best Super Junior final. This is a match we all came to see. Taiji Ishimori versus El Desperado. Both looking at the top of their game. Working at the top of their game. Man, just so glad to see these guys. It's amazing what Despe can do in the ring, but it's even more incredible what Ishimori can do. The guy is just on another level. I'd love to see this guy work matches right now with anybody. He may not have the size, but he's got the look and he's got the ability. He could work with anybody. I'd like to see him work with, an AJ Styles. I'd like to see him work with an Ospreay. I'd like to see him work with a Kenny Omega. Anybody, okay? It would be great. So bell sounds. They begin with some chain wrestling. You get the Huracan and a triangle moonsault by Ishimori right off the top to the floor, right off the back onto Despe. He lifts Despe and slams him into the corner post. Desperado back in the ring, gets thrown into the post, missing a turnbuckle pad. Didn't even see it. He was so quick to take that off. Ishimori working the arm of Despe to the arm breaker. He's trying to get that, the bone lock in. He's working for this bone lock throughout the entire match. He transitions to the arm bar, releases but not before kneeing Despe in the back of the arm, back and arm. Big chop by Desperado to try to gain some momentum. But Ishimori back on the arm. Desperado catches Ishimori with a back suplex, then hits the tope into a flip onto Ishimori outside. Looks very good. Desperado still clutching his shoulder, though. Back in the ring, Desperado lands the lariat. In the corner, then the vertical suplex, near fall. 2 blocks from, both block each other's slams, okay? But Ishimori hits that German suplex, very similar to where he goes through the legs and then slips him back. Very similar to what Shinsuke Nakamura does. It's kind of signature maneuver, but Ishimori does it and does it very well. You get a 450 by Ishimori, though. Misses, hits the Cypher Mutaki. Kind of reminded me of like a inverted code breaker. It looked pretty cool. I like that move. Back body drop by El Desperado. Nothing fancy. Ishimori misses the double knees and gets hit with the back suplex and the elbow drop. Ishimori sends Desperado back to the corner post. He hits the shoulder breaker. Stretch muffalo by Desperado is countered, however, to a roll-up. You got a poison rana by Ishimori. Spinebuster by Desperado. It's already getting into that 3rd gear, 4th gear. Great exchange. Ishimori goes to the eyes to a counter and a slam. Then a beautiful backhand spring. Strikes Desperado. You get a sit-out knee breaker by Despe. Looks like, basically like a code breaker. Into the stretch muffler. Ishimori once again counters to a roll-up. Goes back to work on the shoulder. La Mystica into a bone lock by Ishimori. Desperado rolls out, applies the stretch muffler. Ishimori reverses after being lifted into a Canadian destroyer. Looks great. He uses that core strength to get out. Beautiful. Both down, but Ishimori back up and lifts Despe, who plays possum, applies a roll-up, another by Ishimori. Big right hook from Desperado. Strikes exchange. Ishimori seems to be winning, but Desperado goes low. Big shot sends Ishimori down. Beautiful high knee by Ishimori. Desperado hits the angle slam. Then he hits the spear. Pinche Loco. Only 2. Desperado lifts Taiji, who counters into that face breaker. Modified code breaker. Looks sick. Inverted slam. Reverse Bloody Sunday. Very close to count. Could have been over right then and there. But Taiji, Ishimori thrown into the exposed turnbuckle that he exposed. All comes around full circle. Backslide into a Pinche Loco. Reverse Tiger Driver, of course. Another 1, 2, 3. El Desperado is your best of the Super Junior. Okay. Great match. Great finish. Had to be at least a 4.5 star match. And it's not like a 5-star, 6-star, Dave Meltzer 5-star banger. But it was a good match. Good way to finish the night. The card itself was cool. I knew this was good. I don't miss Dominion because I know they're going to deliver. And sure enough, they did. This was a cool pay-per-view. Great one. A great show. Great chance for me to kind of get back into my thing and do what I like to do in the podcasting and reviewing. It's been great, guys. We'll talk a little bit, though, about afterwards. We got Desperado on the mic says Ishimori is tough. He kicked me around in the nuts, in the face. And like Ishimori said, the winners aren't, they're not your favorites. They're not the prettiest. They're the strongest. And, Ishimori was pissed that he used his words. Here comes Show. Okay, with the title, with the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. And they go back and forth as to who is really the best. Despe says, screw this, let's fight in a steel cage. Okay, that way nobody can get involved. It's one-on-one. What do you say? So, I think that's coming. Don't know. I got to look it up. But I know we got the card in Seoul. We'll be looking that up. Guys, it's been great. Let's take a quick look I'm going to look at Forbidden Door. Okay. Let's see when it is. Because I know it's coming up and it's coming up quick. Let's see. AW is an updated card. So let's see. Forbidden Door. June 30th. Yes, 10 days. That's what I'm talking about. I'm looking forward to that. So I know I'm a little bit behind, but that match for the IWGP Championship is what we need to see. We got Jeff Cobb versus someone to be announced for the Television Championship. I know I'm a little bit behind, so again, we got Bryan Danielson versus Shingo Takagi. That's going to be a great match. Zack Sabre versus Orange Cassidy. Bet your bottom dollar Zack Sabre is going to win, I think. We got Mina Shirakawa versus Toni Storm. Mercedes Moné versus Stephanie Buck. That makes sense. And we got Konosuke Takeshita versus Briscoe versus Jack Perry versus Dante Martin. Leo Rush. That I want to see for the vacant TNT Championship. Swerve Strickland, of course, versus Will Ospreay for the championship. This will be definitely something that I will get and be all over come that match. This will be held, however, let's see where this is going to be held because that's, of course, it's going to be in New York. So I'm going to be, I'm going to be a little bit late about it, obviously, because, it'll be in the middle of the night. But that will be on Sunday. So I'll be watching it probably Monday, and I'll do a review that Monday night. Hopefully that will be good for July 1st. That should make sense. But we also have another few cards that I want to take a look at. New Japan schedule. We got some good ones coming up. Now, I know something's going on in like 2 days. So let's take a look. That's New Japan Seoul. It's going to be good. Let's see what time. New Japan Seoul will be night 5, June 23rd. The preview. But I do want to see what the 22nd is looking like. Let's see that here. Yeah. I'll be looking on, but I think that, we are going to, I better, get going soon because one, my battery's about to die. I gotta go plug it in. But yeah, I'll be keeping in line. I'll definitely do a review probably before Forbidden Door. That will definitely be, on my radar. That's going to be the next big, card. I've been watching Raw. I've been watching, I've been keeping up with things. It's just, I knew this was kind of going to be my downtime before. It's not like I'm not watching or keeping an eye out on things with AEW. Do kind of wish I could go back and see some things from I missed the last pay-per-view on AEW. I know that's a shame, but hey, what do you want me to do? But we will catch Forbidden Door. Who knows? Maybe I'll be able to get Jonathan in the mix. I know time difference kind of varies, but might be able to make it happen. And sure enough, we'll definitely, keep our eyes out for Forbidden Door and of course, the New Japan Soul matches. So other than that, guys, it's been great. Please hit that like or subscribe button and reach me at ChannelCortez33 on Instagram, on Twitter. And until next time, I got to go pass a driver's test, German driver's test. Not easy. So got to do that tomorrow. If all works out, maybe catch some Hefeweizens, maybe get a Hazy Jane, who knows. But until next time, guys, you have a great night.